Okay, now that you've either received the confirmation email that your course has been created or linked, sometimes the course actually links before you even get the email, and occasionally it's very quick. So what I did was just closed out of my course and clicked home. I went back to my Blackboard home screen, and I went ahead. This was just about 5 minutes. Clicked on my course again to enter the section. Again, this is a section of Bio 234 lecture that I'll be teaching in the spring. And the best way to check and see if the course has been linked yet is to go back to Tools, click on that, and back into the Pearson's MyLab and Mastering area. And you should see, like this, all these other options that weren't there before. Okay, that original link we clicked that asked us to establish a link, that's no longer available because we've already linked up with the course. So what we want to do now is create some content areas up here that will allow students to directly access the mastering content. And the most important thing really is the assignments. Okay, and that's really the only pre-built part of the course that I worked on that you'll be able to import here. But I'll show you how you can link up to also an area for the e-text, so they can access the textbook. And also they can access all the other online content that's available, but not assigned. But let's start with the assignments. So your Blackboard course should come with a content area called assignments. If it's not there for any reason, you could always add a content area by clicking on the plus sign right here and selecting content area, and you can create a new content area there. I'm going to do one in just a moment for the e-text. But for now, I'm going to click on assignments, and it should be empty. There's nothing here. Now, what we want to do is go to the Tools area and select the Pearson's MyLab and Mastering Content. Now, you should have about six possible links you can create. I'm going to link with the assignments right here, mastering assignments that are pre-built into that course you already copied, that master course. So once I do that, I'll click Submit. And this will effectively establish a link that your students will see. So when they click on Assignments, it'll come to this screen. They need to click on Mastering Assignments, and this will open a separate window or tab that brings them to the mastering assignments that I've already built. So what you can see here, just as an example, is I created several of these practice modules for some of the more difficult concepts within these chapters here. These, as you can see, are for practice. These the students can work and rework at their leisure. These involve watching some videos and animations, answering some questions, and so on that will help them prepare. They can do these at any time. At least in my section, I make these available at any time. The quizzes are listed here. You'll see there with the category quiz, and I have one for just about every chapter, I believe, that we cover, except the very last one. But these, you'll notice, do not have a due date or time or availability. Those are going to be set by you, the section instructor. And the easiest way to do that is right from this screen. You can just select Edit up here. And now, any one of these, you can go in and let's say quiz 1, I'm going to select, I think the first day of the semester is January 29th. So let's say, I don't even remember if this class meets on Friday, but I'll just select it's going to be available that Friday at, I don't know, 2:59 p.m. And my, or actually, I'm sorry, this is due date. So my due date, click back on there, I'll maybe make the following week. I generally make them available a week, these quizzes. And you'll set the time that it should be due, and their availability, you want to make sure that it's available up until certainly after the due date or around the time of the due date. I can go into a little bit more detail with this later, but for now I'm actually going to delete these so I don't make them available by accident. Okay, so once that's done, you can hit save or just cancel. Okay, and those you can set by the dates in your section. Okay, if you want to, you can click on an individual quiz, you could review it. You can edit the assignment. This is a good way to look and see what type of content is there, how it's organized. And you can even add content here. You can select from a whole test bank of questions. By select content, you can go to, it's already set to our book. You can select the chapter. Let's say I want to do chapter 1. I can go by the section of the chapter if I'd like, homeostasis, for example. And I can even filter, by applying filters, the types of questions. For example, I don't use essay questions, but these are all the questions listed here, and I've selected, you can see the ones which I've selected, but if you want to go through and add more, by all means, you can do that. Same thing for those practice assignments. Okay, I'm going to hit cancel for now. Let's go back and cancel. Okay, so these are now in your course. If you go back to your Blackboard course, here's where we were. What you can also do, and I recommend, is to add a content area by clicking the plus sign here, or just hovering over it. Select content area, and I'm going to call this e-textbook. Okay, and make it available to the users. Now remember, nothing's available until you make your whole Blackboard course available, so you have to remember to do that before the semester starts. Okay, now there's a new section here. It's a little not highlighted yet there for e-textbook. So what I'll do is select that, and right now it's going to be empty. So what I need to do is create a link to the Pearson content again. I go to Tools, Pearson, MyLab, and Mastering Content. And I'm going to select this time the Pearson eText and click Submit. Now, when students enter this area, and I can move it up a little higher if I'd like, they'll select the eText and it automatically will open up the eTextbook for our course here. Okay, it's going to open up, they made a little new version here. This is the textbook, but they've embedded some videos in here for each chapter. But you can see if you go to the table of contents, you'll see all the chapters from our textbook that we're using, volume 10, all the chapters here, and students can navigate this to go to different parts of the chapter. There are lots of features now. They have bookmarks, of course. I believe there are highlights. They can highlight text. They can add notes to text and save that all inside their textbook that's accessible to them anytime. But as you can see, they embedded some of these videos right into the e-textbook, which is really nice. All the diagrams from the book. And this is new. I'm seeing this for the first time. They've embedded some of these videos. So here's a video embedded in your video.
The genetic here, DNA helicase unwind.
Okay, so really cool. They can see some of these tutorial videos embedded right within the e-textbook. Okay, so I'm going to close that tab now. And they now have a link for their textbook. The only other link that I usually use, I can create a content area. I'll call this one Pearson Study Area. Let's see, Study Area. Make that available. I'll click on that now because I have to create the link. I'll go back to Tools, Pearson's MyLab and Mastering, and I will select Study Area. Okay. Once I do that, there will be a link established, which you might be familiar with this if you've used it before or instructed your students to. When they click on this, it will bring them to this screen, which may be familiar to you. Make sure it's affiliated with your textbook. And they can select either by chapter. Let's say they want to go to the chapter on, let's say, the muscular system, muscle tissue, chapter 9. This is a difficult one. Make sure you click Go. Sometimes forget to do that. And it's got some information, also has lots of links for games, labeling activities that they can do. And these are all for practice. These don't go into your grade book or anything. Took a second to load there. They can drag these terms. As you can see, these are good exercises for them. Some of these are actually in the assignments that I've made. These are all available. All these A&P flicks, the little movies, tutorials, interactive physiology. They can come here and browse it, but I've already brought some of these into the assignments and the study modules that I posted there in the assignment section, and you're welcome to do these as well. You can select these from within the assignments tab, create new assignments or edit assignment that's already there, and you can add all of this content. But this is, students should be familiar with this. Virtually all the resources are right here at their fingertips. And you've created a link for it. Go back to Blackboard, right here in your Blackboard course. Okay, if anybody has any questions on how to set this up or you're having any issues, you know how to reach me.